Hi guys, it's Bree and Baby, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about the 7 signs that you're pregnant before your missed period. Now, obviously, I know everybody says this in their videos, but it's true. Keep in mind that these were my 7 signs before my missed period that I was pregnant. A lot of these are premenstrual signs, so if you're experiencing some of these, don't freak out yet. You could just be getting your period. And obviously there is no real way to tell if you're pregnant besides just waiting for that missed period, taking your pregnancy test, and seeing what happens from there. But let's go ahead and get into the symptoms. Like I said, these were my 7 symptoms before my missed period. So I would say my first sign was just that I was super emotional. And like I said, that is also a premenstrual symptom. I did just think that I was about to start my period anytime. I knew that around the time of my period, I would always get really emotional. I would cry a lot. I'd be kind of moody and grumpy. And so when this happened, I absolutely just blew it off to believe that my period was about to start. Not once did I think this was a pregnancy-related symptom. Now, the second one was that I was super, super hungry. And I know this kind of sounds weird, but for me, one of my period symptoms were, or premenstrual symptoms, I guess I should say, was that I would eat more around the time of my period and during my period, and then when my period was over, I would never really eat as much. I've always been a very lean person, and I've always loved food, but I've never been the type to just engorge myself in a whole bunch of food. So the fact that I was super hungry was a little bit of a sign, but it was also a sign of starting my period. So I didn't think anything of it. It was a little bizarre to me that I would wake up at 4 and 5 in the morning and go eat. That part was very weird to me. But I did just blow it off to, that's a little weird, that's crazy, but probably just about to start my period. I was on full period watch at the time. I knew my time was coming. I knew that it could be any time now, so I just blew everything off up until this point and thought, my period's coming. Now, the third one is a little bit TMI for me, but I'm going to go ahead and share it. It was that I had gotten a UTI, which I believe is actually a pregnancy symptom now. But at the time, I didn't think much of it. I didn't take any medicines for it. I didn't do anything like that. But I just had, if any of you have ever had a UTI, you know that you just have the urge to pee a lot. And so I kind of just blew it off to the fact that I had this UTI and it was just affecting everything, downstairs, and that this was not a pregnancy symptom. Around this time, though, the amount that I was urinating was so much that I did start to think, okay, maybe something's up. But I did blow it off because, like I said, I assumed my period would come and all of my questions would be answered and I would have another period. It would all be good. It would all be done. And I just assumed it was lady problems going on. My fourth symptom was just that I was very unenergetic and just very exhausted. I know I blew a lot of this stuff off, but it's just because you don't want to sit there and think, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. Especially the fact that we got told 4 months beforehand that it would be very hard to get pregnant, if not impossible, at least for years to come. So in my mind, months and months before this, anything that would happen to me, I would be like, oh, I could be pregnant, and I was never pregnant. So this was actually the month that I was like, there's no way that I'm pregnant, that is not going to happen. It's just, your body's just being weird. I was very unenergetic and just exhausted, but I once again blew that off just to think that it was the way I was pushing myself that last week or two. I hadn't been sleeping very much. I, all in all, was overexerting myself, and so I just assumed that it was because my body needed to catch up on some rest, and my body just wasn't liking being up so early, doing all the things I was doing, staying up so late, whatever. My fifth symptom would have been TMI once again, but it was constipation. Now I realize it was a pregnancy symptom, but at the time I did notice I was constipated, but I did kind of blow that one off to think, I mean, it's just my body. It wasn't particularly abnormal for me to be constipated, but it wasn't normal either. It wasn't just like a normal occurrence. Normally it would have to do with the foods that I would be eating, or if I was super sick, stuff like that. I know it sounds weird, but I know my body knows me, and at this point, the constipation I really didn't think was a pregnancy symptom. I didn't think anything of it. Now, the sixth symptom was heartburn, and that for me was absolutely bizarre. I never got heartburn really in my life. I had it a couple times, but it was mostly when I was a kid if I ever did have heartburn. I did notice I would eat, and like I said, I had the increased appetite, and then shortly after I would eat, I would just get this horrible burn in my chest, this heartburn. Obviously, it's in the name, which that to me kind of raised red flags. That, along with the urination, just kind of raised some flags to me, and I thought, okay, something is definitely up. This was around the time that my period should have definitely been here. My period's not coming. Maybe it's late. That's just, that's just normal. But something is up with my body, and I'm not sure what's up with my body. And then for my seventh symptom, obviously, it was a missed period. I waited on my period for, I want to say 2 weeks before I took a pregnancy test. Actually, I think it was exactly 2 weeks, but don't quote me on that. But I waited a little bit because I didn't want to go buy a test. They are kind of pricey. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought it was a waste of money, and just didn't think that pregnancy was in the picture whatsoever. But with the missed period and everything else that had been happening, I needed to know what was going on with my body. So at this point, I went ahead and went to Walmart and bought a pregnancy test. It was a 2-pack. I was super skeptical about even taking the test, but I was like, okay, if this test comes out negative, then I will know for sure that these are just premenstrual symptoms and that I have nothing to worry about. I can do whatever I want, I can have fun, and just not worry about it. So I went ahead and went home that night with the test, and within less than 2 minutes, it came back as a positive, which really, really surprised me. I was very shocked at the time because I did take the pregnancy test when you're not supposed to. I did take it late at night, and really I just didn't believe it. And so I showed my boyfriend. He saw the test. We kind of started talking about things like, okay, if we are pregnant, this is what's up. If we're not, whatever. But this test is saying that I am. This test is coming up positive. What does this mean? Whatever. So then I decide, because there is so much doubt in my mind about this pregnancy test, I decided 30 minutes later to go take the second one, which, looking back now, I realize was a dumb idea because hormone levels, and really, I don't even think I peed enough to make the test come out accurate, but I was just so overwhelmed and not really worried, but just in shock, I guess you could say. Shock was just the main emotion that I was feeling. I wasn't mad, I wasn't sad, I wasn't happy, I was just in absolute shock. And then to add to the doubt, I took the second test, and the second test came out negative. So here I am, 1 positive, 1 negative. What does this mean? So then the next morning I woke up, I went straight to CVS, bought another one, and I took the test when I got back home because I don't live but like 3 minutes away from CVS. So I took it as soon as I got home, and it came back positive. Obviously, it was my morning urine, so it was more accurate, had more hormones in it. They tell you to take them in the morning anyway, so that's what I did. So now it became very, very real to me that I am most definitely pregnant. So yeah, that was kind of a little bit off topic. That was like a little rabbit trail of finding out that I was pregnant. But like I said, those were my 7 symptoms that I noticed before my missed period, along with the missed period and the pregnancy test. So, like I said, there is no real way to tell if you're pregnant before your missed period. It is a waste of money, I'll say that, to go ahead and buy a whole bunch of tests before your period's supposed to come, because especially if you are very early on in pregnancy, the hormones just aren't going to be enough. But I wish everybody the best of luck, and I hope this video was a help, even a little bit. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and please leave me a comment down in the comment section below. I will see you guys next video.